Ever wondered how some people get such high scores in Deadly Assault with M0 characters, all while you struggle to maybe barely hit 20,000 points? Well, to be fair, skill does play a role, but more often than not, there are a few small changes you can do on your account that can nearly double your scores. So today let's talk about the most efficient ways to improve your Agents and Deadly Assault or Shio defense scores. Let's begin simple, level your skills. I know, this sounds like the most basic advice possible, but after doing hundreds of account reviews by now, shameless plug right here, more than half of all accounts I reviewed had important skills not leveled up. Because the skill's motion value is the very base all your other stats scale off, it is extremely important to level them, and it can make an absolutely massive difference. Taking any skill from level 1 to 12 will exactly double their scalings on their damage and increase their daze scaling by 50%. To illustrate my point and how impactful that actually is, let's do some napkin math. Let's assume a Yijuan Fufu Lucia team with Yijuan having 20,000 HP, 100% crit rate in combat, a 340 crit damage in combat, and 134% damage bonus in combat, as well as 2000 attack, and we also fight versus Priest. Ignoring Ether Veil for simplicity, both our HP and attack consolidate into 2600 sheer force, and adding in 900 from Lucia, we end up at 3500 sheer force. Our damage formula is the skill's motion value times sheer force multiplied by the damage bonus, crit multiplier, resistance multiplier, defense multiplier, stun damage multiplier, and also sheer multiplier. Because Yijuan is a rupture agent, we will leave the defense multiplier at 1, and because we want to use our ultimate during stun, we assume 150% stun damage. Assuming a level 1 ultimate at 1853.4%, our damage formula now looks like this, resulting in a total damage dealt of about 1.44 million. If we now do the same for a level 12 ultimate, it will simply quite literally double our damage dealt, 2.8 million. That also means every single skill level will increase your skill's damage dealt by 9.09%. Of course, because skills get more expensive to level the higher their level already is, but the damage gain per level does not increase, the cost efficiency has diminishing returns. However, that does not mean you shouldn't max out your skills. It is a 9% damage increase for every single skill point after all. But Riff, what about stun agents? Their damage does not matter. And good question, you're right. Well, unless your name is Dialin or Nangong Yu, I suppose, but regardless, their daze does matter. Let's again assume our fight versus Priest, but this time we will look at Jufufu instead, using a 2-piece Shockstar Disco, a 4-piece King of the Summit, impact in slot 6, and also her signature weapon. Assuming a level 1 inactive chain attack from her, we are looking at a value of 221.6 daze. Fortunately, the math this time is rather easy. Daze motion value times base impact times impact percent times combat impact, and then lastly times the daze build-up. Her base impact is 118, she gains 18% impact from her slot 6 main stat and 6% from Shockstar Disco, a 20% daze build-up from her signature weapon and 6% from King of the Summit, and lastly also 50 flat combat impact from her core skill. Makes 263 in total. Multiplied by her daze MB, her chain will hence inflict 583 daze. At skill level 12, this will become 332.7% motion value, and hence we will now inflict 875 daze. That is, just as it has been the case with the damage scaling, a linear increase of 50%. And now you might say, well, but the daze does not deal damage, and you would be correct, and also wrong at the same time. Let's assume you get to use your previous Yijuan's ultimate 4 times, 3 times during stun and 1 time out of stun. That makes for 3 times 2.88 million and 1 time 1.9 million damage. Makes 10,500,000 in total. If you were to get 4 stuns now, this would be 11.5 million, or a difference of about 960,000. Or in simpler terms, if you were to get that 4th stun, you would gain approximately 9% damage. If you know where to play with Dialin instead of Tufufu, or you have Tufufu's Mindscape 1, this gap becomes even larger due to the stun damage multiplier they provide, going up to approximately 12%. Please keep in mind, again, this is napkin math, but it does illustrate how important skill levels are. Leaving your stunners assist at, for example, level 6 might be the difference between getting an additional stun window or not getting it, and only leveling your agent's most important damage ability halfway through is a damage loss of approximately 45% for that skill. Even worse if you combine these two. Takeaway being, please level your skills. Make sure your DPS's most important abilities are as maxed out as possible, and for your stunners, always make sure to also level their assists. Even though assists often do not directly provide damage, you will use them a lot, and the daze the parries and assist follow-ups provide are absolutely invaluable. I recommend leveling all of your stunners assists to at least level 11. Next up, let's also talk about attack, or more specifically attack percent as in the substat. More often than not, I've seen players solely focusing on crit rate and crit damage, while completely neglecting attack percent as a substat. Attack percent is an extremely valuable substat in ZZZ, and more often than not only even up with crit damage, but possibly even superseding it. Yes, you heard that right, so let's have a look at some calculations. Alan, attack percent will give you more damage than crit damage does. Yugo, same thing. Sanbi, yep, likewise attack percent wins out. Yeshongguang, slightly in favor of crit damage actually, but not by too much. Corrin, about even. Evelyn, yet again attack percent wins out. Seed, okay, for Seed crit damage is actually better by a good chunk. The Miyabi, attack percent yet again, and even more so if you play in a mono ice team. Please stop underestimating attack percent as a substat. It is in most cases even up with crit damage in terms of value, and sometimes even ahead. This is even more important for units such as Miyabi, where the anomalies, disorders, and also her Frostburn scale with her attack, but not her crit damage. Pretty much all attack agents, and Miyabi for that matter as well, want to hit at least 3000 attack in the stat screen, with some of them, such as Hadamasa, favoring even higher values. And lastly, now that we know to not underestimate attack and also level our skills, it is time to read the character kit. Well, arguably, you probably should do that before you actually invest into the agent, but anyway. If you want to improve your scores, you will need to know how a character works and what they need. And while guides can summarize an agent's kit, if you really want to get really good at the game, there is no way around reading what a character actually does. All of this sounds extremely basic, but the amount of times I have seen Reddit threads like this followed by an answer like this is absolutely astonishing. But more important than reading a character's kit is also actually understanding what you're reading. Frankly, that is sometimes easier said than done due to the sheer amount of unintelligible words the devs like to put into the kits, but fortunately there are a lot of people out there willing to help you out if you have questions, be it guide channels on YouTube, Discord servers, or even Reddit. I know all of this sounds like the most basic advice possible, but after reviewing so many accounts, it has been pretty apparent to me that a lot of players heavily underestimate how important these, frankly, basic things are. Hence, stop focusing on getting the most ideal main stat for your slot 5 for a 2% damage gain, and instead make sure your skills are leveled. Your agent is not running around with 2000 attack, and you also understand a character's kit and what they need. And if you have done all of that, then you can focus on getting your ideal main and substats, as well as learning how to route a fight. And when you are ready for that, I will leave a link to Lynn's video in the description for you to watch after this one. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and a special thanks to my YouTube and Patreon members who make this content possible. I appreciate all of you and also wish you a great day. Peace.